Hiya.
Title.
Title is, well, we were talking about love last time. This is an introduction to metaphysics. Part 5, a little bit about love. Okay? As an emotion, love is mobile. Mm-hmm. It only requires an honest and determined attempt to become aware of your own feelings and beliefs. There is no justification for hatred. When you curse another, you curse yourselves. Yeah? And the curse returns to you. Do you realise that? Until the individual comes to terms with himself and his emotions, the hatred will return, because it belongs to the one who hates and not to anyone else. You understand that, don't you? I know you don't stand under anything. Your reality as a spirit in flesh, within the framework of your own complexity, you have the right to say no to certain situations, to express your desire to communicate your feelings. You must not expect to be perfect. Everything's perfect as it is. As mentioned earlier, your ideas of perfection mean a state of fulfillment beyond which there is no future growth, and no such state exists. Love your neighbour as yourself. Turn this around and say, love yourself as you love your neighbour. Now that's different, isn't it? For often you will recognise the goodness in another and ignore it in yourself. Some people believe there is a great merit in holy virtue and what they think of as humility, and we went on about that. Therefore, to be proud of oneself seems to be a sin. And in that frame of reference, true affirmation of the self is impossible. Unique self-pride is the loving recognition of your own integrity and value. True humility is based upon this affectionate regard for yourself, plus the recognition that you live in a universe in which all other beings also possess this undeniable individuality and self-worth. True self-pride allows you to perceive the integrity of your fellow human beings and permits you to help them in their strengths. He does a lot of help, don't he?
Basically what it's saying is love yourself first, and then you'll be able to love everyone else. How could anyone else love you if you don't love yourself?
Well, yeah, dead right, my friend. Dead right. Live right, if you like. For years I couldn't love myself, so, you know, sometimes you can't love others. The self grows and develops. It cannot be annihilated, as we've said before. Usually self-sacrifice means throwing the burden of yourself upon someone else and making it their responsibility. So if you've got any problems with yourself, don't take it out on us. Well, you can, because it doesn't make any difference to us. We live off it. Love does not demand sacrifice. Those who fear to affirm their own being also fear to let others live for themselves. You do not help your children by giving them or keeping them chained to you, but you do not help your aged parents either by encouraging their sense of helplessness. The ordinary sense of communication given you through your creaturehood, if spontaneously and honestly followed, would solve many of your problems. Only repressed communication leads to violence. The natural force of love is everywhere within you, and the normal methods of communications are meant to bring you in greater contact with your fellow creatures. Perfection is not being, for all being is in a state of perfection. You must first love yourself before you love another.
That's what we just said.
There's part 5 of an introduction to metaphysics, and just a tiny little bit on love. There's tons more to follow. We could make a series of maybe an infinite number of these little video films.
That is exactly what I was thinking.
But if anybody, we're going to talk about the ego in the future. And I introduced my outer ego to the inner ego, and the outer ego was a little bit shocked at first.
I bet it was aggressive.
It thought it was the only one. You're looking at me. Calm down. You're here for my survival, but don't you realise that you're not the only one? What? It was quite shocked. So I think parts 7, 6 and 7, we'll talk about that. And also, as a little taster for the next one, I've written something down here. I'm going to have a go at the planetary game sphere scientists. Now, we don't get us wrong. We love you, but we want you to consider maybe looking at metaphysicality and putting down your instruments, or stop making these instruments because they only measure.
But can't I just look at physics?
You're only getting one side of the picture, aren't you? I've got a quote here. Your scientists can count their elements. That is, they will create more and discover more until they are ready to go out of their minds, because they will always create physical camouflages of the real non-physical or metaphysical thing. And while they create instruments to deal with smaller and smaller particles, Large Hadron Collider, anyone? They will actually see smaller and smaller particles seemingly without end. As their instruments reach farther into the universe, they will see, and I suggest you put the word see into quotes, yeah, they will see farther and farther. But they will automatically transform what they apparently see into the camouflage pattern which they are familiar. They are, and they will be, the prisoners of their own tools. So that's for next time, everyone. Thank you very much for listening. We hope you enjoy our series on an introduction to metaphysics. There's tons more to come.
That's why it can only be an introduction.
It's mind-blowing stuff, isn't it?
Well, I dare say we will get to the point where we'll be giving them a little bit more that may just tip them a little bit.
You're it. And it in quantum stands for IT, information technology. And all of this information can be accessed in your own minds. Yeah, you just need to be quiet and ignore the outer five senses. Calmly lie down, count down from 99, double the relaxation, read a book on hypnotherapy. I can recommend Dave Ellman's book on hypnotherapy, and also Dr. Rachel Copeland, American book, How to Hypnotise Yourself and Others. It's great if you've got problems when you're going to the dentist or stuff like that, or women can't give birth, or children can't go to sleep. There's did we talk about the dream medicine? I think we did in the previous thing. It's in there. That's it for now, everyone. Thank you for watching. We really do love you unconditionally.